Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Alfriti and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilaiti Ambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Osur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, discussions underway to introduce no-fault scheme. Judge finds woman guilty of murder. And more vendors to be added to the Homes Care program.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Discussions are underway between the government and the Employment Ministry to introduce a no-fault scheme under the workers' compensation reforms. The no-fault scheme will allow workers who are injured at work to receive compensation without having to prove fault. Ali Kimbia with the story.
The no-fault scheme was introduced earlier this year by government through the accident compensation, and plans are in place to do the same with the workers' compensation.
Currently, when the workers' compensation is applied, it has to be shown that it is the fault. Somebody is at fault. Who's at fault? If a worker did it out of his own negligence or something like that, then it's not paid. But under the new system, if you're at work and it happens, compensation has to be paid.
With a lot of pending cases of workers' compensation still at the ministry, Osamate says the new scheme will greatly benefit workers.
Once that is in place, we should be able to process the compensation payments much faster. People get the money much faster, and they can invest that into their lives and the quality of their life, especially for those that are injured or those for whom the breadwinner has actually died. They get the money quicker, they can look after themselves.
For some workers, the no-fault scheme will give them a sense of confidence and protection while at work.
If you get hurt if you're working and you get hurt, it's good that you get paid. Apart from not getting paid.
I think this is a good initiative by government and I want to thank them also for bringing this kind of assistance.
The no-fault scheme, once introduced, will further enhance the ministry's work of providing the best and quality service to Fijians and at the same time deliver social justice to workers. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The Suva High Court has found Miriam Pramila Devi guilty of murder in the burning death of her de facto husband. Justice Temo delivered his judgment this afternoon, saying he concurred with the unanimous opinion of the three assessors. Rachel Nuth has more.
Judge Justice Celeste Temo said on November 17th in 2016, 41-year-old Devi, with the intent to cause the death of her de facto partner Balkrishna Naidu, poured kerosene on him and then set him alight at their home in Socorro, Suva. The judge said he accepted the declaration by the two state witnesses that Naidu told them before he died that Devi had set him on fire. Justice Temo also highlighted the court's acceptance of Devi's statements during her caution interview and conversation with a doctor at CWM Hospital, where she admitted she had burned Naidu. He said Devi was not a credible witness and on numerous occasions was evasive while giving evidence. The defense counsel in mitigation said Devi was a first-time offender and the incident was not premeditated. The judge will deliver his sentence tomorrow. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
More businesses are expected to be added to the current 16 traders on the approved list under the Homes Care program. Minister for Economy Ayaz Said Qayyum is advising the prospective new vendors to ensure there are no price hikes for the duration of the care program rollout, which ends next month. Maggie Boyle reports.
The care program was first rolled out in May and is expected to wrap up later this month. With the M-Paisa cards expiring in July and the demand for goods overwhelming, the Ministry of Economy are approving more vendors.
And we've opened it up. They've been through various checks and balances. We have to ensure that all the people, the vendors that are approved need to be FNPF compliant, have tax compliance, have no other statutory, outstanding matters.
The AG is advising prospective vendors not to get greedy, with 7 traders already charged for price variances, among other offences.
Of course, we will also urge and encourage all those vendors to ensure that they don't price gorge. As you know, that FCCC is also, I understand, will be charging a couple of suppliers or 2 or 3 suppliers.
Meanwhile, with the deadline for the amnesty for ineligible recipients expiring last week, the Permanent Secretary for Social Welfare, Dr. Josefa Korovueta, notes the returned M-Pesa cards remain at 80. Between farms and homes care, over $92 million has been spent and more than 115,000 Fijians have been assisted. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Investigations are still underway following the discovery of the severed infant body in Nawaka yesterday. The horrendous incident has left residents in Nawachi Kuma tramline in shock. The woman, who is believed to be the mother, is still under guard at the Nandi hospital. According to police, the woman in her 20s might be in hospital for a few days. Police add that the suspect had allegedly developed complications following the birth of the child. Still to come, COP23 Presidency Secretariat presents first semi-annual report and more sales expected to be done at the Women's Expo. Stay with us.
Bula, nevang go malakai leloma, ngongai nakas untuk makarong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Hoya ubasit sai Lambasa, ya untuk talita ina warong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Gua do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Wana tunga ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere nawaluan.
Na vengo fani na tao niongo singa toka, kita untuk talita kana Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
The safety of children should be the top priority for parents, since neglecting child safety can result in unexpected heartbreaking incidents. Save the Children Fiji CEO Ira Slow McKenzie says it's crucial that parents protect their children. Kelly Vavala reports.
After the drowning of a 1-year-old, Save the Children Fiji is again reminding parents they are responsible for the safety of their children at all times.
It is quite heartbreaking when we hear incidents of children that are actually dying because of negligence of an adult, and we know that this incident could be avoided, and you could save a life.
Lo McKenzie says the safety of children should take priority over all other obligations and responsibilities. The non-government organization says children have the right to be protected, and we must ensure we're not violating their rights at any cost.
In Fiji, we live within the extended family, so we're always, you have working parents, so there is a need for then grandparents or relatives to help support looking after the children. But you want to ensure that you live in your child with people that you trust.
Child Protection Coordinator Nanise Wangamailau says parents and guardians should understand the dangers of child negligence.
It's a norm in our village settings, informal communities, that children are looked after communally. Parents should really prioritize on events that they attend to, obligations over the safety, welfare and protection of their children.
Save the Children Fiji says the courts are now imposing harsher penalties for child neglect. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The COP23 Presidency Secretariat that oversees and manages the operations of the fund presented its first semi-annual report over a 6-month period between May and October last year to the Public Accounts Committee today. The report provides information on key activities and expenditure incurred through the first 6 months from the COP23 Presidency Trust Fund. For the period to 31st October, over 25 million Fijian dollars was received in the form of donations to the fund. Expenditure of the fund to 31st October amounted to almost $11.6 million, leaving a balance at that date of almost $13.5 million prior to the full payment of pre-COP and bond COP23 expenses.
The activities are funded out of some other funds of support for the presidency, help with the UNFCCC, with the UNDP and other agencies, but the bulk of which is the funding is in the Presidency Trust Fund under the arrangements set out in the Act.
The Talanoa Dialogue, a Pacific model of decision-making based on inclusiveness and consensus, should be used as a springboard for more action. This was highlighted by Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama while speaking at the Petersburg Climate Dialogue for Increased Climate Ambition last night. Bainimarama says the Talanoa Dialogue is the vehicle the Pacific has chosen to achieve more in terms of climate change. However, he says we are nowhere near far enough to effectively confront the climate challenge. Bainimarama says climate change will be catastrophic for all humanity, including the loss of entire nations, widespread shortages of food and water, more diseases, hundreds of millions of people displaced, and the almost certain breakdown of the global order as nations fight over scarce resources. The organising of a Women's Expo each year is aimed at empowering female artists in the country. Permanent Secretary for Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Josefa Koroibueta, says the national event provides a platform for women to showcase their talents. Catherine Krishna reports.
From the statistics gathered by the Women's Ministry, the minimum sales per person last year was $800 and better sales are anticipated this year.
Not only be able to sell the products, but there's also opportunity to connect to some of the markets that we have locally, some of the business houses, even the opportunities to connect to the overseas markets.
Participants in the expo say their long nights of hard work will be paid off.
We have a small decoration, a fan for decoration, and also we have baskets and we have doormats.
I'm representing Nadeva Women's Group from Nadeva Mbenga, and I'm very excited.
I'm really proud and I'm here to make more money. The 2018 National Women's Expo starts right here at the FMF Gymnasium tomorrow with over 300 women artisans taking part. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
Today was a proud moment for Fifita Fa as she was admitted as a barrister and solicitor of the High Court of Fiji. The 27-year-old served as a lawyer in Australia for 18 months before deciding to return home to give back to her homeland. Kritika Kumar reports.
The happy occasion was an emotional one for Fifita Holeva Fa as her proud father moved her admission and a dream coming true.
Learning did begin at home for me. I was very fortunate to grow up in a legal family, my learning has never ended. It started when I was born and it's continuing now and taking a different shape and form.
Israeli Fa says he is really proud of his daughter and her achievements as she will be taking Fa and company to new heights.
The admission to the bar by Fifita means a lot to me. It's a culmination of years of hard work by me and Selai.
Fa says the only way to succeed is through hard work. Meanwhile, other family members were also part of this happy occasion. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
In sports later with Jamie, flying Fijians for Domenico Wanganimburotu aims for next year's Rugby World Cup. But up next is Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break. The model complex to attract new investors. And in growing Fiji, the Bank of Baroda to expand its services. Stay with us.
Lola, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Jenny Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singapore.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Leading business tonight, the construction of the Motor Brothers Limited $40 million complex in Lambasa will open the door for other investors to head to the north. This has prompted government authorities to speed up the planning on how the small town of Lambasa can cater for upcoming developments. Eleanor Thurangavu reports.
The construction of this international standard high-end structure over 8 acres of land next to Lambasa town is exactly what the north needs to pump up its economy.
I know small investors, they would want to come in, but they will wait for somebody big to come in. And right now it's just open, the floodgate is open for everybody just to come in.
While government's Look North policy provides incentives for investment in Vunuelevu, development in the last 5 years has been slow.
And we know for a fact that after our development, there'll be other developers coming on board to it. So that's the whole idea, is to kick it off.
The increased economic activity from this development will put pressure on the existing infrastructure in Lambasa town, with more congestion expected.
We have to take into consideration all those issues. Yeah? We are meeting with FRA almost every month, and with LTA also. We are trying to look at something that will be good for everybody. It's a win-win situation.
The massive development will take at least 2.5 years to complete and will have a supermarket, the largest in Vunulevu, 3 cinemas, an event lounge with conference facilities, a large food court, 18 retail stores and a 40-room hotel wing. Eleanor Turangavu, FBC News.
And we now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
Looking at the top headlines, last night European Central Bank President Mario Draghi said they would press ahead with plans to end their quantitative easing program. This saw the euro lose ground against the greenback. US housing starts data released this morning noted a rebound last month to the highest level since 2007, rising 5% in May. Meanwhile, New Zealand's consumer confidence has fallen in June, helped by a cooling housing market and rising fuel cost. A busy schedule lined up for traders tomorrow as they await to hear from the 3 powerful central bank heads. Fed Chair Jerome Powell, ECB President Mario Draghi, and Reserve Bank of Australia Governor Philip Lowe all scheduled for speeches tomorrow. And that's all for now. Vinaka.
Thanks, Sharon. Taking a look at today's currency exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. Our dollar gained against 4 of the currencies we cover, showing strength against our 2 major trading partners, New Zealand and Australia, as well as rising against the euro and the Chinese yuan. As for the commodities market, oil prices were slightly down. Well, it was down, yes, at 65.30 an ounce, and silver was down as well to close at 1,274 an ounce, and silver closed at 16.35 an ounce. And in Fiji tonight, the Bank of Baroda has identified locations in major towns and cities where it intends to expand its services. Chief Manager for Fiji Operations, Prabitra Sethi, says this is due to high demands from their customer base in areas where they do not operate. Catherine Krishna reports.
The bank believes the opening of more branches will also empower Fijians, as Bank of Baroda's services will be brought directly to their towns.
We are exploring the possibility of expanding the business. Then also in technology side, we want to means that quality we want to bring more and more. So normally last year we have introduced that rapid funds to India, but now we are bringing it to mobile banking and ATM network.
With plans for opening new branches, the bank is also looking at introducing new initiatives that will be more technologically based.
This business is being reviewed on a continuous basis. So as and when it is required, I think we may also think of expanding the network and also keeping on introducing the new products.
The bank has been operating in the country for 57 years and employs more than 150 staff. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
And that's business for tonight. Jamie joins you now with the latest in sports.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sport. And pools drawn for Battle of the Giants. This and more after the break.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mitchi FM. Mitchi FM is hot.
Mitchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mitchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mitchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mitchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jackson Nasori. I love listening to Mitchi FM here in Nasori. Mitchi FM is hot.
Mitchi FM, it's hot.
FIFA World Cup host Russia has virtually booked a place in the round of 16 after beating Egypt 3-1 in their second pool match this morning. Meanwhile, Senegal became the first African team to win at this year's tournament. Japan beat 10-man Colombia 2-1 in Group H to become the first Asian side to beat a South American one at the World Cup. It was sweet revenge for Japan, which was thumped 4-1 by Colombia in Brazil 4 years ago. Portugal football defender Pepe believes Morocco will be a tough team to beat in the second FIFA World Cup pool match tomorrow. Real Madrid defender Dani Carvajal could make his return from a hamstring injury in Spain's World Cup clash with Iran tomorrow. Fiji Airways Flying Fijians forward Domenico Wanganimburotu has indicated his desire to compete at the Rugby World Cup in Japan. Wanganimburotu, now regarded a veteran in the national side with 39 test appearances in 2 World Cups, is eager to make it to a third next year. Vashal Prasad reports.
32-year-old Domenico Wanganimburotu has set his aim for yet another World Cup. Now a veteran, the utility forward has been part of the Flying Fijians since 2010.
Fighting for that spot, everyone wants to be in the squad for the World Cup. You know, everyone's working hard, fighting for that position. Everyone's fighting for a position in PNC coming November test on November. You know, it's a good platform for us to work ourselves for the World Cup next year.
Coach John Maki has hinted that Wanganimburotu will remain in the Flying Fijians team.
Every time he's on the park, you know, it really gives the boys a lift. You know, he's really Mr. Work Rate for us. You don't see him do the fancy things, but he does all the hard jobs in the game.
But for the French-based brief player, with the inclusion of world-class players like Leone Nakarawa and Semiran Randra, the makeup of the team next year will be interesting.
You know, we've got new players that come in, and we've got very big name players that come in every year. As you can see, Leone, Randra and all that players, they influence the young players.
While the World Cup being 18 months away, their first aim is to win against Tonga on Saturday and finish the Pacific Nations Cup unbeaten. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Vashnil Prasad is at the Flying Fijians camp in Suva and joins us live now with Wenga Nemani Nandolo. What's the latest, Vashnil?
Yes, Jamie, here with me is Nemani Nandolo, and what an exciting moment. Nandolo, one of the giant wingers of Flying Fijians, now going to west, heading with Flying Fijians team to Tonga. Nandolo, what's your call on the Flying Fijians? The fans, we have seen big fans coming out when you played Super Rugby. We have seen fans coming out and supporting you. You know, going back to Churchill Park in Lautoka and playing Tonga, who just beat Samoa last weekend.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think exciting times to be heading back to the west. A few of us boys are in the squad are from the west, and I think the last time we played there was 4 years ago. So, you know, the fans have been waiting a while, and you know, it's really exciting to know that we're going to be playing in front of, you know, for me personally, my family, my friends, and you know, all the people in the west who you know, have missed out, you know, these last few years. But yeah, the boys are really excited. You know, exciting times ahead.
You've been in every camp with the boys, just missing last year's November test. But how has been this group right here now? June test done, November, and then World Cup coming up next year.
Yeah, as you said, you know, there's a few campaigns coming up leading into the World Cup, not including our clubs that we play respectively. You know, look, the bunch now that we've got right now. You know, we're a bit older now from last 4 years ago, and you know, we're just building slowly each game and getting the combinations right, and so, yeah.
Well, as you're facing some technical difficulties with that live feed, moving on to sports news, the pools for the Inc. Mobile Battle of the Giants have been drawn. Defending champions Rewa lead Pool A with last year's runner-up Nandi, as well as Suva and Riketi. Host Lautoka is in Pool B alongside Mba, Lambasa and Tabua. The BOG will be held from the 20th to the 22nd of next month at Churchill Park, with the venues for the semi-finals and final to be confirmed later.
We are proud to sponsor this Battle of the Giants here in Fiji. It's one of the major tournaments in Fiji. We have sponsored $60,000. We've given it to Fiji Football Association, so they will make necessary decision on whom to give what prize money and etc.
Bank South Pacific donated $5,000 and a corporate competition trophy to the Suva Marathon Club today to boost preparations for the upcoming marathon next month. General Manager Human Resources Howard Politini officially launched the Business House Challenge, where teams representing businesses will compete for the new trophy. The Suva Marathon is scheduled for the 22nd of July.
We got into sponsoring the 10-kilometer business team event,
And again, I think that's the a good part of this is work being more than work. Work is all this business house sporting events that happen around Suva especially, and I think in Latoka as well, and even Lambasa picks up a few because our staff are involved with it. It's a good thing. It's all part of work.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather, and in the world of the weird in the wonderful segment later on, take a look at the park in Austria that turns into a lake at a certain time of the year. That's coming up.
Narang golesenia, Obama kita nakas, dorong-rong bina kape on radio Fijian nandomibit.
Ayaw benyana, kita barong on radio Fijian nandomibisi hindi natoka.
Guado ilaisa ingatoka, rong-rong bina na heramakawa ina radio Fijian ingatoka.
Radio Fijian nandomibiti.
In tonight's new media, Zenfone AR is the world's first 5.7-inch smartphone with Tango and Daydream by Google. And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. The hot sunny conditions are back and you would agree with me as well. It was pretty sunny and warmer throughout the nation. So ensure to keep hydrated in this humid season. Taking a look in the west, a bit cloudy, but it didn't stop the sun from shining. Eastwards from Pekaba to Suva, an absolute brightly lit one. And up north, so humid, but you know how sunshine makes everything so beautiful. At seas, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 12:51 a.m. with low tide at 7:03 a.m. Sunrise at 6:36. For tomorrow, another gorgeous sunny spell is expected. Tomorrow's temps, Lambasa will be the warmest at 31 degrees. And looking further on to Friday, finally I can say the most loved name. It's looking pretty clear and dry. Well, the weekend looks good already. And that's all from the FPC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, should a specific unit be established to accommodate workers' compensation cases?
Yes, I think it will be good to be a unit set up. It's good for a job.
I agree that a team of doctors should look after the compensation of the families and workers as well.
Yeah, I think there should be a special unit so they can compensate, because especially some families, that's their only breadwinner that's being in the accident.
They should set up one unit so that the people who get injured can be compensated as soon as possible for their injuries.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, discussions underway to introduce no-fault scheme. Judge finds woman guilty of murder. And more vendors to be added to the Homes Care program. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we're asking, will the introduction of ticket vending machines make e-card top-ups easier? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day is a picture of Vunda Marina sent in by Seka Tutani. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से। जैसे प्रेनी नॉर्थ मशहूर है, वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है, वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।